Good evening. Welcome to our City Council meeting this July 21st, 2025. I hope everybody had a great weekend. We'll start it off with the invocation and pledge allegiance. Councilmember Fulmer.
You're welcome to join me in prayer. Our recent travels demonstrate why I'm so thankful for what we have in Clemson. It's easy to see that what we see as faults are so small in comparison to those of our neighbors near and far. I'm hopeful that as we move forward, we can continue to improve on the discourse that seems to have crept into our community. We should remember how much we have for which we should be thankful. And finally, let's not forget all those in our community and nation who faithfully serve us every day and who have done so over the past 250 years. In His name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. So next on the item is public session. Our Mayor Pro Tem's out. She's not feeling well, so I will take care of it. So just as a reminder for everybody, it's a three minute limit per speaker. I will not read everything, but you can see up there, just so that all may be heard, please, and I won't read each one of those, but also I will read the bottom. When speaking, stand at the podium, address council as a body, and be mindful of repeating points that have already been addressed. So this is your opportunity. Please come up, state your name. Jeremiah's got the list right in front of him. And also, just as a reminder, we have ADA devices up here. Jeremiah has those as well. So the floor is yours. Okay, not everybody all at once. Yes, sir.
Robert Lee, I live at 113 Preston Drive, Clemson. And this is a really difficult one for me. It started out years ago, and I never ended my own personal investigation into some affairs of the city that didn't make any sense to me, that were really fishy to me. And I looked and looked and looked, and I have a more recent take on all that. So basically, I'm asking for a uniform municipal summons for code violations that city council members did years ago. It's in the Public Record and Freedom of Information Act. Former police chief accused city council members of violating city ordinance, council staff relations. And it might seem like a not serious thing, but the former chief's take on it was that it had to do with interfering with the police chief's chain of command. So what he said in his letter, published by the Greenville News, was, when police officers are not required to follow a police chief's chain of command, it can lead to serious consequences, including bodily harm and death. That sounds pretty serious to me. So there are two city ordinances that these council members allegedly violated. One is that ordinance 2-49, city administrator shall communicate with the mayor and council. No member of the council should give orders to any subordinate of the city council administrator, of the city mayor, except in case of emergency. And two, this is not directly stated, but if the police chief had communication with those council members and requested, no person shall willfully fail or refuse to comply with any lawful order or direction of any police officer. Now, if those council members were directed by the police chief to obey the ordinance, so that's a second violation. I'm gonna follow this up with email. I know there's limited time now, but it's something that what's not clear is that this whole thing, the police chief also said, he hopes I strongly urge council not to impair the new chief's ability to maintain order and discipline in the same way. But because the way this was handled, it was never dealt with, we never learned what happened. There was no accountability for those council members. It just got covered up, and it got fishier with resignation became severance pay and several $100,000, and it just became fishier and fishier. I looked into it. So I'm asking for that email. I'll write a follow-up email, but I don't know how else to address it. I don't think there's any statute of limitations to do for a municipal summons. So that's something I'm going to follow up on with an email. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
I don't live in the city of Clemson, but I have a question for city council. Who elected you to represent the citizens of the city of Clemson? Did President Clements elect y'all? Did outside developers elect y'all to represent the citizens of the city of Clemson? Because it appears that, as a whole, you do not represent the city of Clemson. You represent people at the university and outside developers and people that want to bring more tax dollars to the city of Clemson rather than what the citizens of the city of Clemson actually want. What they stood before you back in April of last year when they said, we don't want the hub, we don't want the hub, we don't want the hub. We were told there wasn't enough people here and all that kind of stuff. Like, my question is, who do you actually represent? Because when I talk to the citizens of the city of Clemson, they don't want all these high-rises apartments in downtown Clemson. They don't want them in their neighborhoods. They don't want them on Pine Street. They don't want them on 398 College Avenue. Like, who do you represent? Who voted for you? Do you represent the citizens back here and all the ones that are at home, or do you represent President Clements, the out-of-town developers, or, you know, I'm just curious who you actually represent. Thank you.
Robert Crooks.
You're on the agenda.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you were,
sorry about that, Robert.
you're good, you're good.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But is it what's on the agenda, or is it something different that you want to say?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Robert. Was it something? Okay.
It was what you're scheduled for later on the agenda. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Red Hill.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Alicia. I was reading his mind.
Any other comments? All right, if not, we have one that was submitted. This is from Steve Bynum on, I couldn't find the address, 136 Stanberry Drive in Clemson, obviously. It has become impossible to hear the audio of Clemson City Council meetings on YouTube. Please check the audio equipment. That was a comment that was submitted. Just to follow up on that, we've already reached out to Steve. He said it has gotten better as of last week, but Jeremiah is also going to elaborate on what we've uncovered and update. So, yeah.
We had some technical computer issues. The computer had some problems. We replaced the computer, updated the software. We have a backup audio that has been uploaded, and that's now available on YouTube for
So hopefully it's better.
We'll find out tonight, too. Tonight will be validation as well. All right. If there are no other comments, we'll close out public session at this time. Next is the possibility of approval of minutes for July 7th, 2025. Would somebody like to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
You call it. It was a tie. Any comments, discussion, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Next is to go into reports and discussion. Receive a report from organizers. Robert, here you come. Organizes this year's Red Hill Community Day. Andy, you have this, but I believe you're just going to turn it over to Mr. Crooks. And there you go. There you go. All right. Robert, thank you.
Crooks. First of all, I want to say thanks to council, mayor, Andy, the administrator. Got 3 departments, Public Works, the rec department, and the police department. We had no issues this year at the Red Hill Reunion Fund Day. Everybody worked well with us. We raised under $18,000 for the event. And we appreciate the contribution from the city, and we appreciate what y'all do, making the facility available, and we didn't have to wait on anything. Everything was there. Of course, you know, during the event, we have live entertainment, inflatables for the kids, horseshoes, and free food. But everything went well, no complaints, but we would like to get more money next year if we can. Wanted to throw that in, but we appreciate what y'all do. And y'all who you are, y'all represent us well. Continue to do that.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, how many people were there over the 2 days?
Under about 1,200, under 1,200. Both
great
days.
turnout then.
Great turnout, no problems, and looking forward to next year.
Great. So is that about what you usually have? I mean, the heat was really bad this year. I was,
Every year is getting bigger because
Great.
it's not only for our community, it's for the surrounding communities, and we try to give back. And I had the support of Johnson, Lincoln, Dixon, and Rick Cotton when I was here, and of course Andy gave the same support, you know, because we can't do it by ourselves. So anyway, after I retired, I continued to give back to the community, but we appreciate y'all assisting us. But y'all keep doing what you do. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for leading the
Thanks,
effort. We
Robert.
appreciate it. Thank you, Robert. Next is to request a public hearing date for RZNE 000-439-2025 Cochrane Road parcels. And instead of Nathan, I see Jacob.
hey, Jacob.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the next one.
All right, you got this. I like it. I like it. Thank you,
Taking
Jacob.
for the team,
That's
one
right.
for the team.
This
All right.
We'll get some more fun. Yeah, so this is a, application to rezone 3 parcels from RM1 to RM3. So this is over on Calhoun Road. I don't know if you're familiar, so if you see the 111 to the right of it, that's the Lofts apartment complex.
That's Cochrane Road.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Calhoun Road.
So, okay,
Yep.
I'm learning, steep learning curve. Beside the title of RM1 of 2-family residential to RM3 multifamily residential, what's the difference? Beside the term, I mean,
Okay,
what is,
so
what
basic-
is a 2-family residential and what you consider multifamily? please?
Absolutely. So right now, in the RM1 zoning district, duplex is basically your densest
Okay.
use you can do. Even though you'll see the Essex Drive right next to it is townhouses, that 101 Calhoun, Cochrane is also townhouses, across the street is townhouses. We used to be able to do townhouses in RM1, but years ago, the zoning was changed to basically downzone RM1 to be not allowed townhouses anymore.
Okay,
But this would allow for townhouses and our smaller level multifamily for RM3. And the biggest also would allow for occupancy of 3 in the units.
versus
2.
2. Okay, so, okay. All right, thank you.
No problem. And my suggestion for the public hearing date is going to be September 15th at 5:30.
that Monday before city council or?
Correct.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
It's gonna be before the city council meeting.
So 5:30.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Do everybody?
The 15th?
Yes.
Or is that, yeah,
Everybody good?
as far as I know.
All right, Jacob? or-
I do have one
Oh,
question
yes,
though.
ma'am.
I'm good with the 15th, but I
Okay.
know it says no proposed development is currently associated, so is there a reason why we're?
Yeah, just the
what's-
current property owner, they've owned it for a long time. I think they're just looking to probably, I'd be honest, I think they're probably looking to maximize it before they sell.
So this is the property owner that's requesting it?
Yes.
Okay.
And the adjacent parcel's RM3, right?
Yes, they're eligible for RM3 because they're adjacent to RM3.
Oh, oh. So it's these 3 houses here. I mean, I
Yes.
have pictures, okay. 105, 7, and 9, okay.
All right, everybody good? Then the next is to request a public hearing for 2025R01 proposed text amendment. Or did I skip? Yeah, okay, there we go. Frontage fences, and Jacob, you're still on.
Yep. So this is a text amendment that, brought by staff. We're looking to allow me to grant a variance in a case where a property borders on 2 roads, one of them being an arterial road. So if not the front of their house is facing an arterial road, and we have a set map that I can hand out if anyone wants to see it, but there are certain arterial roads in the city, basically main roads. And our thinking that if your house if your side or rear yard is on an arterial road, you should be able to put a taller than 4-foot fence up, potentially. And I would have the ability to put in conditions on there that I felt were appropriate to make it, pleasing to the eye for everyone.
You have a suggested date?
September 2nd.
So this one's before the other one.
Yes, we're gonna do this one beforehand. We're gonna kind of lump this one with the other one, the next one I got in front of you. I think we're gonna do that at 5:30 as well, and we'll probably just have my next one you'll hear just subsequently after that. That's my suggestion. But yeah, September 2nd, if you guys are available.
Same time?
Yes.
Everybody have it down? All right, by the way, I know that y'all normally do, but I'll let Windsor and Lillian know. So,
Silly question. Is September the 2nd Labor Day?
September.
It's a Tuesday.
So the 2nd,
It's a Tuesday, yes.
that's what, okay. That's why I figured, I knew you weren't meeting on Monday, so.
All right, so you're on a roll, Jacob. Last is a request public hearing date for 2025 text amendment buffer yard standards.
Yep, so this is basically our buffer ordinance was put in effect back in 2014, and we've had a lot of development then, we've learned a lot of lessons, we believe, and this has been vetted, this ordinance has been vetted by the BAR and by the Planning Commission, and we're bringing it forward to you on hopefully September 2nd to discuss basically improvements to our buffer ordinance. And again, September 2nd, and we're just gonna do those and the one before, just kind of subsequent, one right after each other. So also probably at 5:30, but whenever the first one ends, we go into this one.
Everybody good? All right, thank you, Jacob.
All right, okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Yep. So next is to discuss a recommendation for the Police Advisory Board to allow the use of golf carts at night. Chief?
Mr. Mayor, member of council, I have 2 members of the Police Advisory Board present. If you have any questions for them. As you all are aware, we have been discussing a golf cart ordinance for some time. We learned during that process that the state had a bill that was going through the House and the Senate, and it has been passed and signed by the governor. And that amended statute allows all municipalities to pass an ordinance to allow for nighttime golf cart usage, as long as they have the proper lighting. So we have tweaked our ordinances to put it in compliance with the state, and that is what you have before you. Just a few things. Even though the state law says that you can drive at night and it will have headlights and it will have taillights, I discussed with the board and I felt like we needed to ensure that we're all talking about the same thing. So that's why you have the state law references to those lights, because people could interpret that a number of different ways. You may or may not have seen lights, the LED light bars that people put on front of vehicles when they're going through the woods and that kind of stuff. We wanted to put standards in place so that something like that would not be put in front of a golf cart and then blind everybody while it's going down the road. So we wanted to make sure they have the same standards that a regular motor vehicle would have, and that's why those references are in there. The other thing that we have in here, we took into consideration the parking regulations that were discussed in the previous versions that are in here, as well as we added an additional requirement that only the manufactured number of people that could safely sit in a golf cart can ride in a golf cart, because we often see more than that in a golf cart. State law took care of the seatbelt requirement for children, so that is part of the state law. That's why it's not restated in our ordinance, because it's already there. And I think that's pretty much everything in a nutshell. Anybody has any questions for me or the board members? And Lisa, if you want to say something.
Well, really, the ordinance is really crafted just to make it easier for people to operate their golf carts, make it safer for them, permit them to be able to use them in the evening with those requirements for the necessary lighting, and making sure that we don't have overcrowding on the golf carts, which is something that you often see. So it's really something to ensure that people are operating golf carts safely, and then that they are now able to do it in the evening. Do you have any questions for us?
Is there a registration or a fee?
So, the state law prohibits us from doing registration within the city, but you still have to register it with the state through the state permitting process. And in the ordinance, it refers to that, especially when it talks about operating the cart. You are still putting in the ordinance that it has to be within 4 miles of the address on the permit.
So beside the nighttime driving in the bill, and obviously there's seatbelts for children now required, was there any other major change in the golf cart state law that you can think of right off the top of your head, besides seatbelts for children in the night?
Those are the primary requirements, and certainly the night use is something that a lot of citizens have been interested in being able to do.
So I'm going to help answer that question a little bit more too. We put out something, what was it, about 2 months ago? Are you operating your golf cart legally? Must be insured, permitted, registered. This is all part of, must be 16 years old with a valid driver's license. It says operating during daylight hours only. If this goes into
the state law, unless you have an ordinance
right,
permitting.
operate on roads posted speed limits of 35 miles per hour or less, and remain within 4 miles of your home where it's legal to drive. And I did say must be insured and permitted. So,
Go ahead,
yeah.
John, I have a question after.
Well, keep on going. You got thoughts, and then John.
So I want to make sure I understand this correctly. Right now, the state law is that you cannot drive a golf cart at night unless Clemson council mayor passes the ordinance that we can.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you. Just wanted to make sure I was.
The question about the 4 mile piece, are we going to communicate, I hope, with the people, IPTAY people or whoever, because during football season, you're going to have golf carts, particularly on campus down in the lot down there with the RVs that are going to be obviously more than 4 miles from their home. And I think the IPTAY people need to at least put that out as a notice to those people down there.
We can't be riding around in everybody's subdivision.
I'm gonna double check, but I'm pretty sure that is part of the state law as well. It's part of the state law that you have to operate it within 4 miles of.
I know that, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm-
we could do an educational thing.
I just think all you do, I told them to take my opinion.
Right.
You just make sure they know that the folks that down there in lot 4, whatever lot it is, with the RVs that bring the golf carts, realize that
Maybe here's a elaborate.
So what I do-
What is the update with Clemson University's
See, I was
policy?
gonna say, what I don't know is, I know Clemson University is working on rules on campus. And part of the issue that they're running into is they are not a municipality. They don't have city ordinances, but they want to allow for carts to drive on campus at night.
Right.
So they have to go through something through Columbia to get that accomplished, and there's some process that they're going through right now. Depending on what they say and what they allow will depend on how that affects them coming off of campus. So we can address it when we know, but I think,
it's pretty clear. I mean, it's 4 miles, and I guess there are two components. It's that component, and then it's also the component where we know it happens, is that there are rentals that are brought on campus for various groups that come off campus.
so what I don't know about the rentals is, who is that permit issued to? If it's issued to a company, what address is the company using? And if they're renting that to someone, then hopefully that they will communicate that to the officer that they've rented it. But ultimately, the driver of the golf cart is responsible for it. No different than if you rented a car from Enterprise or whatever, and the car was out of date with the tag. The driver's the one that's responsible for that and can receive a citation for it. So it really depends on the discretion of the officer when they have that encounter as to where they go with it.
And I know, and I realize that, and again, it's a bit more of an enforcement situation, but those situations will exist. They do exist and will exist.
Right.
And on the lights, one other thing I want to ask you about that, there are some golf carts out there, instead of having like single headlights, 2 of them, they'll have a light bar. It's not high, but it's down low. So I'm assuming that light bar like that.
As long as it is operating in a similar manner as a regular headlight would, and it would not blind vehicles coming in the opposite direction, we're not gonna have any quorums with that. We're more concerned with people strapping, battery operated lights and other things on their golf cart and then claiming they have headlights when that's not what the intent is.
No flashlight on the front.
No flashlights on the front, no.
Chief, you may sit.
I got one other thing. There's in the interest of maximizing parking, there's a line here that says the golf carts do not block one another from leaving when the driver is ready to leave. Maybe something like they do not block another vehicle that they are not with. And the reason I ask that is because we don't have enough parking. So if somebody got double parked in, they would, I would assume, report that to parking services or the police, and then that's the same as parking in 2 cars.
So I don't want to say that, Mr. Jones, because you'll have 2 people that will know each other and they get in an argument. And then, so if I leave it the way it is, we will enforce it when somebody complains that they can't get out.
But it'd be a complaint based.
It'll be complaint based. It won't be
Yeah,
something
which is
that we're
perfect.
proactively going to enforce.
Would-
If you come to me and say, I can't get out of my golf cart, or, hey, my friend got tanked, we got in an argument, I'm trying to get out, his golf cart's blocking me in, I can't get out, that's probably when we're gonna take action.
So I've had that issue at the university with a motorcycle, where a bunch of mopeds pulled in and made it so I couldn't get out. And parking sideways and stuff. It's the same kind of issue. It's really only complaint driven in
Correct.
other
It's not
vehicles.
something we would proactively do.
Perfect. That's kind of it. I don't want parking services to be out trying to split them up into separate spots. If we can maximize the number of spots, we got so few spots for what we got downtown. If we can, and I'm all for putting them in spots, not in motorcycle parking or not on the sidewalk, not jumped up on the curb.
Yeah, and that's the intent, and that was the other part about extending into the roadway and obviously blocking traffic, so if it's extending out just a little bit, it's not really causing impeding, But if it's, you get 3 of them in there and the third one's really impeding the traffic that's trying to get back up, then that's where that's coming into play.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I appreciate the hand signals with the turning left, right, and stop. I do that with my ATV, just crossing the road. 99% out of 100 people don't even know, what's that woman waving at me for? Turning left.
You're showing your age.
Hey, I'm above ground.
I teach a defensive driving class on the side, and I can assure you, most of my students don't know what hand signals are. And I have to assure them they have to properly utilize their hands when they're giving signals, so they don't give the wrong impression.
So the last thing, I think I just read that it's how it's registered at the state, it can either be primary or secondary residence within 4 miles. It can be primary or secondary.
However the state
is registered.
registers them, that is the addresses that we will use. We're not using anything other than that.
Thank you. I just want, because the way I read it, I just said your home and technically it'd be your primary or secondary.
The new law is specific that we cannot have residency requirements in our ordinance.
Perfect. Thank y'all for all your work. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
So I guess we'll have first and second reading in the next couple of council, unless there's any alterations, anybody has any recommendations?
Yeah, if there's any other comments, you'll either hear before or at the next city council meeting. That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next is to discuss a proposed amendment to section 1811 to disallow overnight parking in all public spaces unless otherwise posted. Rebecca.
For the record, we currently disallow overnight parking in public spacing. We're just adjusting the verbiage. Right now, it says Key Street Garage and on-street. I think whenever this was written the first time, we didn't necessarily have the spaces on the first floor of the Fenley deck, 114 Earl. So I think my proposal is to change it towards more inclusive and broad spectrum. That way, as we gain more spaces downtown, we don't have to keep coming forward and changing the verbiage to say, well, let's add this parking garage, let's add this street lot. And then I think this is just the easier solution.
I would agree.
Questions or comments, Jeff?
My impression from folks downtown is it's disallowed everywhere.
Well, exactly.
That's what everybody sort of believes.
Well,
right
exactly.
now.
I'm just trying to get the current ordinance to match the way we're enforcing.
I do have a question.
Okay.
Overnight and early morning workers, late night and early morning workers, is there a way to do like a hang tag through businesses or something?
I have 19 24/7 spaces on North Sloan.
Okay.
If any of the companies downtown who have employees come in prior to 7 a.m. or will be on staff after 4 a.m., I will be happy for them to reach out and ask about these spaces.
Yeah, because I've talked.
Right now, other than that, no.
Yeah, because I've talked to a couple of businesses that do have late night employees, or they come in real early to get food deliveries and stuff.
Right.
And there's some angst about all of this, and I know that they can get them given up if they get a ticket. It just seemed like maybe we could talk about setting up somewhere for them, or even just a hang tag in a mirror.
When all of this, before my time, I believe the North Sloan project was part of Lindsay and Hinkle's betterment projects. The thought process was that these businesses who have employees who are working between 4 and 7, we would lease them these spaces, because they are 24/7 spaces. It would be no different than if they were to the reserve spaces in Key Street, Sloan Street lot by the Lutheran Church, or the Fenley deck. I presented it at the merchant meeting. I believe you were there whenever we gave that update that it was
So the
available.
leased spaces are available overnight?
These ones on North Sloan, yes.
Okay, but like the Fenley deck, the leased spaces in Fenley deck get towed,
No,
right?
we have, I can't remember the exact number of the ones in the Key Street garage, but those are for the residents who live in 391 College. And that's, is it 10? Okay. And that was the deal we made whenever we built the garage.
No doubt.
So I'd be happy for somebody to want to lease those spaces, but I can't seem to get any takers right now.
Yeah, it's, the whole thing is just getting people used to it.
Yep. Parking is changing as we move forward, so.
Oh, yeah, well, we got a parking study coming up, and
Yes, we do.
We're gonna change more, so.
We'll see.
So this is for our attorney here. So it does, Rebecca just brought up a good point. It kind of confuses people when you say it says to disallow overnight parking. It's already disallowing. Can we put, I know you say proposed amendment, maybe I should look at Jeremiah too. I mean, why aren't we just saying to possibly update the wording? I mean, I just don't, when you say to, I know you say, you propose text, I get that, propose it, but anyway, just semantics, I guess, but it's more of just, how do you say, don't cause confusion. We're already disallowing it. We're just possibly updating the wording.
What are you talking about?
When it says right here, it says to disallow overnight, it actually says, it looks like we're proposing, even though it says proposed amendment, it looks like we're almost proposing to disallow overnight parking. We already disallow overnight.
Correct, but she explained that when she
Well, I
were
know, but when-
matching what we're already doing,
So what
I
right?
think what the mayor's
What I'm
trying
trying
to
to
point
say
out,
is the wording here confuses people.
that's the reason I got phone calls from the media today,
Okay,
is the verbiage
Understood.
on the agenda itself.
Well, but
You're
the
just an
ordinance,
average bear,
but
okay.
the ordinance does specify, so we do have to change it.
Correct.
So.
But we already disallow.
Right,
We're
we
not
disallow.
suddenly saying, no, you're not allowed to do it anymore. We're just updating the terminology.
So you're asking for a change to the agenda item as opposed to changing the proposed text change?
No, just, you can,
He
no,
wants
you
it
can
to
just,
say,
to update where we disallow. I mean, it's that simple.
you can just say to further clarify overnight parking
That disallows it.
restrictions.
Yeah. I'm just trying to,
Or
and I may have caused more confusion, but I'm trying not to.
No,
I'm
I
really,
understand what
I'm
you're
trying
saying.
for the future not to cause this kind of confusion. Yeah.
We got
Okay,
it.
all right. Sounds great.
You're just an average bear.
There we go. We're moving forward. All right, thank you. Next, Rebecca, discuss the proposed amendment to section 1811 to include a fine for special event parking violations.
This one's my pet project. I feel very strongly about this one. So as you all know, this past year was our first year doing first come, first served parking for special event rate. Previously, we could reserve spaces and council decided that we didn't need to be doing that any longer due to spaces not being utilized. It came out relatively quickly that the ticket we were issuing for people who did not pay the meter for the special event rate was the same that they were being issued for not paying the meter during the week. And if you pay that within the first 7 days, that $30 ticket is dropped to $15. The special event rate is $40. So either way, that ticket is less than what they would be required to pay when they come to Clemson to watch the football game. So the recommendation is to create a very specific violation for game day parking, special event parking. The recommendation was $100. Bounced it around with staff downstairs, and we think that that was a good number. We wanted it to have teeth. And then have the same policy for this one that we do with the other expired meter, failure to pay the meter violations, where it can be reduced to 50% if paid within 7 days.
So parking in a handicap space without a handicap thing is just $100?
Right now, yes, part of the parking survey is going to be reviewing all of our fees and violations for the city and comparing them to comparable municipalities as well as the university. I do have big dreams for updating all of those violation costs as well, but we wanted to wait till after the parking study.
Understood. Thank you.
I have a draft RFP for that study on my desk. If y'all like a copy of it before we advertise it, to make sure we have some of the questions included that you wanted. Please.
The goal for the RFP is to have it out with enough time for us to have some home game day observations. That way we can get some fully solidified empirical data regarding parking in the garages and on street during home games.
I think the guys have figured out that they could get a $30 ticket and pay $15 was pretty smart, actually.
They were announcing it in the garage by the second home game weekend.
That That was brilliant.
It was a pretty quick text message, the second home
Yeah.
game for my
Shame
officers
on
right
us,
now.
you know.
Well, again, the parking program is changing, we're evolving as things happen downtown, so it just makes sense.
But now it's not gonna be that way.
I agree. God bless them.
Any other comments?
Use it for evil instead of good.
All right, thank you, Rebecca. Thanks for
Thanks,
all the
Rebecca.
hard work. Next is discussion of Plan Unit Development 0003912025, Proposed Plan Development Varsity 3. Nathan, are you?
Sure.
You're on the agenda.
I'm just introducing our guest, Mr. Silkworth, who is coming with this development. You know, there was an email that went out to all council before, I believe it was Councilwoman Scott asked us about the breakdown of the current facilities at Varsity 1 and 2 in terms of grad students, undergrad, and families. That was provided to you. Mr. Silver will probably get that again tonight, as well as some other items he'd like to discuss before this comes to a vote at a potential meeting in the future.
All right. Thanks for having us in. I'm John Soapworth, my cousin Jeff. I think you all met us the last time. We appreciate you having us back. Just going to try to keep it brief tonight. I know everybody's looked at what we've submitted. It's been through Planning Commission, a lot of input from staff. So please feel free to ask me any questions or Jeff any questions when we're done. So I'm just going to kind of highlight what I think are some of the bigger items, some of the things that Lillian alluded to last time. Zoning by right, it's currently an RM2 district, allows for about 20 beds per acre, 10 dwelling units per acre, and doesn't really have any open space requirements to speak of, and no other real off-site improvements. Current PD we're looking at, right now we're at about 29 beds per acre. We're at about 8.58 dwellings per acre, and we're contributing about a combination of 2.8 acres of parkland and intermodal space that can be used by the public. So it's a rough and tough breakdown. As you can see, the big one that jumps out at you is we're actually going down in dwellings per acre. I think that's important to look at, and when you ask why, if you go to the next slide, please. You know, one of the things we want to do is, and again, sorry Lillian's not here, hope she's listening or can watch back, but to pump up the amount of one-bedroom units that we have. So in order to do that, to support that and to make the project viable, we need to have 4-bedroom units, and that's kind of what we're doing there. So, you know, I think I'm not going to run through it all. You have time to look at it, but right now what we're showing is about 83 one-bedroom units and 92 4-bedroom units at a ratio of almost even of 1-bedrooms to 4-bedrooms. We think the 1-bedrooms are important for grad students, TAs, the public at large that does not want to be lumped into, you know, frankly, you know, dormitory style living. So right now with our plan, we're at 528 beds. That's what we went through with Planning Commission, and we received our recommendation to come forward to council. Sorry if I'm speaking fast, but I'm just trying to get this through for you guys. There's one other slide I want to look at, please.
Stop.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so a minute ago you said you had 83 one-bedroom units?
That's correct.
Okay, and then you had 90 4-bedrooms?
91 4-bedroom units. 91 units with 4 bedrooms in them.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, well then this stuff right here that was in the covenant, those numbers don't.
It's a great question, John. It has changed since we came through, and I can give you a more detailed breakdown on that.
I was trying to do the math against this, and I didn't get it.
Well, I apologize, but the overall bed count has stayed at 528.
Right.
And the reason the unit count may have gone up is because we've made an effort to increase the amount of one-bedroom units.
No, 83 ones is what was, I think, we were all interested in, so.
Yeah, it went up from like 30-something.
Went from 34.
Yeah, so we beefed that up considerably. And again, when we come back, look at it, you can see the placement of them on the final draft, where we think we've strategically placed them where they're going to be, you know, up against the existing community, trying to strategically isolate the fours, and I think we've done a pretty good job of it. But, all right, last slide, came up, go ahead.
I'm so sorry.
No, please,
I
go
have
ahead.
a question as well. You talked about the 1 bedroom and the 4 bedrooms, and now I see 5 bedrooms, but I don't see 2 or 3s up there.
Right.
So what are I know that whatever subtracted by 528 is what's left, so that's divided into your 5 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and 3?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mention the 5 bedrooms, but no, the 2 and 3 bedrooms are the existing phase out there.
Okay.
So this new phase will simply be 1s, 4s.
And a few
small amount of
5s.
fives, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
So just 12, okay.
And please continue to review it. If something jumps up, please reach out to
How
us.
will you handle, when you do your parking? So what is your parking bed ratio?
We think right now we're about even.
1-to-1?
Yeah. And I'm going to show you this next slide, we'll talk a little bit about that too.
Okay.
So it came up at the final planning commission meeting. One of the speakers came in and identified a potential error in our survey. So initially, we had a rear fire exit going out onto Summing Street. After that meeting, our surveyor, we reached out to him immediately and said, can you please verify your survey? He got back to us. He said, I did. I'm pretty confident with what I got. I signed and sealed it. We got him together with the property owner behind us, who's a surveyor that's been in the area for a long time. And he was able to produce some documentation to our surveyor that supported his concerns. So our surveyor took it. He said, John, he provided a very old piece of paper that he gave to him, and he said, I think we should move the property line. So, Jeff and I talked about it. We said, it is what it is. So that area highlighted in orange will go back to what's ultimately the university. That's part of the experimental forest that's backed up onto Sunny Street there. So we're gonna have to lose our rear exit. We're gonna lose a building that, so you can see there, we're gonna lose about a ½ acre. We're gonna lose the emergency exit. We're gonna revert the buffer zone. I'm gonna give it Jacob and Nathan and Art and the rest of the staff to make sure they're on board with the way we're proposing to submit this back for the next meeting. Reverend Cannon, who accesses down that road, he'll be able to continue down his road. It'll be on university land. We had originally offered to give him an easement just to be as neighborly as possible, but he'll maintain his access through university land. And potentially talking about eliminating one of the traffic chokers that were back there now that we're going to be more isolated. So back to your point, John, by eliminating one of those buildings, we went down by approximately 18 beds back there, and we're not going to replace them, so we picked up a substantial, we're going to leave the parking, in other words. So we're going to be evenly parked plus surplus on the front for the amenity building and the management office, and then we'll be evenly parked on the back north area. And then finally, one of the other things, we did our wetland delineation last week and found that there is indeed a stream there. However, the width of the stream, the length of the stream seems to fall within the parameters that allow it to be culverted or rerouted at a state level versus a federal level, meaning the area of that stream is 0.05 acres or less, which allows us greater flexibility. So it goes pretty much under the transmission lines. We're gonna improve it as much as possible. We're gonna culvert it as much as possible, but we're working with our consultant, SM&E, who does a lot of wetland delineation in the area. We feel like we're in real good hands with them to make sure we're addressing it correctly. And obviously we'll get input from Nathan and Ethan, Nathan Hinkle and Ethan Barnett as we go through that process. So that's all I got. Jeff's going to talk a little bit about some of the bigger issues, and please, again, review, read, reach out to us if you have any other questions on the unit counts, and we're trying to do our best to make sure we get as many ones in there as we can. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to hit on a couple, I guess, bigger issues so that the council's aware of, what we're trying to do here and what we've gone through. We spent quite a bit of time doing due diligence on this project, and it's changed as we listened to the community and different stakeholders involved in this. And so just to summarize this is, John outlined, how we're changing the density, which, compared to a lot of zoning changes or PD changes, it's not huge. I mean, quite frankly, that some of the added density allows us to do some things and find ways to enhance the community. Listening to people speak, we keep hearing, not only for our development, but other developments is, well, what's the city of Clemson getting, right? Because, the main thing, I mean, just being frank, is that it's where our project addresses, the growth of the university and where these students are going to live. I mean, that's the business that we're in. But how does the city of Clemson get addressed in that? If they're going to allow for some of this, what's in it for them? So I just want to bullet point these again. This is part of, just so you guys have it in mind and the community has it in mind for that matter. So the key thing in listening, and this again came up as part of this due diligence, is we're going to be donating a little bit over $500,000 to the Community Action Fund, which I think our understanding is a lot of that goes to help the elderly, age in place, and that's something directly that, through that nonprofit, the community is going to benefit from that. John mentioned the parkland. By doing it by right, none of that's in there, but by doing it as this PD, that's part of the requirement. And there's about 2.5 acres there that include a bike trail, a park, and just really enhances an undeveloped part of the property in town, one of the bigger pieces that's left in town. This project, we're adding a fair amount of infrastructure that's related to walking and biking that's off-site. So there's sidewalk and biking trails that that are off our site that are going to enhance the area, that we've listened to staff and some other people that are going to help this. Again, that wouldn't necessarily be required if we did it just as the property zone now. And then another big thing is, which came to light, is the enhanced buffers around our area. We beefed those up with the advice of council, and there's things in there again that I think are gonna, the neighbors had input in, and we talked to them, and again, it's, there's cost associated that, but that's part of this PD is gonna allow us to do that. And then John mentioned there's a cost to just putting in some of these traffic calming measures, that admittedly our project, is gonna cause. But again, it's the PD allows that to be specifically in the ordinance, and you guys to be able to institute that versus if we did it, outside of that. So collectively, this is adding about $1 million in cost, and but this is going to allow us to do it economically, and we've run these models fairly closely. So aside from it, I know you guys look at some of this stuff, but we're basically going to take a piece of property that we felt was underutilized to begin with. You get about $2,500 in taxes, and fully developed, it's probably going to increase to somewhere around, I'm estimating around $500,000 or $650,000 a year, plus about $3 million in impact fees, which again is, that I think that's important, that the city is benefiting from all these different things. So one point I wanted to make a pitch, I guess, here is, is a lot of the developments that come in town, there is a local flavor to this. John went to school here, he lived here, he served on this, he still lives in the area. My wife and I are actually closing on a house next week up in Oconee County because we really have become fond of the area. And, so there's a certain stewardship in this for us. Not that that's a huge thing, but I think that's something that we take pride in. And otherwise, I guess the other thing that I guess I would just ask you to take into consideration as you're considering this is just, we want you to recognize the in-kind benefits that we're trying to add and that we've listened to. Also, that as you look at further projects, that, you know, you look for the same things in those projects. I think sometimes the city doesn't always, you know, get the benefit that maybe they can ask for and get. And, you know, part of that from our standpoint is just creating a level playing field. We feel like we're adding a lot to this. We're proud of it, but we also, you know that's a big focus of the city council. So those are kind of my big picture comments, and we'll take questions. Thank you.
Just so you guys know, Andy and myself and Chief Campos and Nathan Hinkle had a kind of a brainstorming session on the traffic stuff. And we had a couple ideas. Doesn't change it dramatically. Probably more like changing from a traffic choker in one location to a piece of an island in a one-way road. We had a couple ideas. Nathan Hinkle has all of that to sort out how we can maybe make it a little better in the neighborhood.
For the vicinity there?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we talked about how Fabrica works there and how the traffic will come around. We had a number of ideas come up.
Yeah.
Shouldn't change the money much. It should just be more a change in approach. Trying to drive everybody towards, what is it, Newton Street, over by the bylaw.
Yeah, I mean, the Sunny Curve is the big one for the Hendersons and Valerie, and then the Fabrica down where you are is another one that cut through. And yeah, I mean.
And we chatted about it a little bit. I think we have maybe a little bit different way of going about it. Just something so you know we were kind of chatting about it.
Yeah, we threw the joker out, but yeah, we're by all means, Nathan, shoot me an email, we'll get it to Stephen Whiteside and see what we can do. We'll try to we'll address it best we can for the next meeting. But I appreciate you doing that. Thanks.
Yeah, and you know, it was all just ideas, but some of them I think are easier than what we were doing before.
I don't know, I mean, right, a choker, I probably just blew through it before, but anything we can do to deter.
Yeah, instead of a choker, if you make a piece of Fabrica one way for, I don't know, 300-400 yards by the Clemson Forest, then there's no traffic going that way.
I mean, right, I think I talked to the chief a while ago and said, can we even, or maybe it was Nathan, and just said, even putting up no through traffic. I mean, it might do nothing, it might do something to say, hey, and maybe a warning on opening day, like, no through traffic means no through traffic, like get out. And I know that's as good as metal it's written on, but yeah, anything you got.
We just had some ideas, so something to kick around a little bit.
Yeah, all right, great, awesome.
And Andy, you and I talked about it, but with the park situation, I had asked the question, other than just green space, could there be possibilities? I'm assuming that's not a discussion, the possibility of like a basketball court or something different than just the park, since I know the Clemson, we only have the one. But is that something that's possible?
So that was a discussion actually where we originally had some courts there, and the neighbors that live adjacent to it, you know, who have been there a long time, we spoke to them and said, hey, this is what we're doing, this is the buffer zone, this is what we're thinking, and they specifically asked that we didn't put a court there.
Okay.
Because of the noise, and, you know, they don't want to hear tennis balls or maybe basketballs, you know, bouncing. So that, I mean, that's why we did it that way.
Other comments? All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Staff reports, Andy.
All right, let's talk about your August meeting schedule. We've got a council meeting on August 4th, and then on Tuesday, August 12th, you have your work session for Abernathy Park, and then you would turn around on the 18th and have another council meeting. The 18th is also the Welcome Back Festival. Something to consider is moving the second meeting of the month to the 12th. You could have it at 6:30 right after your work session. That way you'd have the Welcome Back Festival evening free, and you'd only have to meet twice that month.
I'm good with the 12th at 6:30. Are we saying 6:30 or 7?
It's normal time, 6:30.
What time is the park?
5:30.
5:30.
So we really be here at 5:30 and then go straight into the council meeting? Okay. Everybody He's making things complicated.
Normally in the past, we've delayed the council meeting so everyone can make an appearance and welcome back. This just eases the whole thing up.
Oh, but then we don't normally have 3 meetings either though, so.
Right.
What was that? I didn't hear that.
I said we didn't normally have 3 meetings in August when we changed it.
Yeah,
so.
gotcha.
Part of our plan in buying the brand new fire trucks, we had to sell 2 of them. So we sold the ladder truck earlier in the year, earlier last year. Then we wanted to hold on to our pumper in case we needed to back up. Well, we sold the pumper this week to Laurel County, Kentucky. And we got a good chunk for it. We got $200,000. The serendipitous part is they just recently had a bad tornado that destroyed their fire truck. So our truck is going to replace the one that was damaged or destroyed in the tornado. We have CAM finalist drop-ins. Marquise Drayton is one of our finalists, and we're going to host a drop-in for him on the 29th at 5:30, right out in this lobby. The purpose of the drop-in is for community members and the public to come meet the finalists and share with us their thoughts on who we could potentially hire. Jaquel Durham is the other finalist, and that will be on the 31st at 5:30. JCUAB annual kickoff meeting is going to be at the Neary Family Alumni and Visitor Center on August 10th. Well, actually, what is there? I wrote the time down, just like the date, 8:10. It's from 8 to 10.
August the 10th?
I thought it was the 7th.
I wrote it down wrong. I'll follow up with you on the actual
It's the
date, but it's
7th.
from 8 to 10.
It's the
It's when?
7th. The
The
7th.
7th, from 8 to 10. And tomorrow we have the Chamber of Commerce annual meeting at 11:30. It's over at the Best Western. We have a table for you if you'd like to attend. And the SCDOT quarterly meeting is coming up. It's on the 21st. So, actually it's the 31st. That's not the 21st. 31st. So if you have anything around town that you want to ask DOT questions about, email it to me or Nathan Hinkle directly, and he can put it on the agenda. And we can try to get an answer for you.
I have that one item on there.
Yeah, we've got that added. Yep. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Thank you very much. Lots of things going on. All right, next is policy action. Just a reminder, 2-minute limit per speaker. And so we'll start off with consider awarding the Downtown AD Correction 2025 and the US 123 ADA Safety negotiated additional work in the amount of $381,411 to Trace Clearing and Grading, along with 10% contingency of $38,000. Nathan.
So this is a project that we've noticed because of the tripping hazards and ADA issues that currently exist with the pavers downtown. That was the initial project, and then it came to light that we needed to do some deferred maintenance along 123. This is between the lake and College Avenue of the sidewalk that we're looking to do the replacements on. If approved tonight, Trace Clearing and Grading is going to be able to mobilize on Wednesday to start doing work. So the goal is to try to get it done before August 15th for all of us. So.
That's what I was just getting ready to ask. Okay. The expected finishing time.
Yeah, barring any unforeseen.
If it's approved. Okay, cool. Thank you. Questions, comments for Nathan? From the public? Would somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we award the Downtown ADA Correction 2025 and the US 123 AD Safety in the amount of $381,411 to Trace Clearing and Grading, along with, it says something about 10% contingency of $38,000. Okay.
Second.
All right, comments, discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Thanks, Nathan. Next, consider authorizing the city administrator to enter into a multi-year contract for hazardous tree removal with Rock Solid Earthworks LLC. Brandon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Tonight, we asked for approval for a contract. This actually will help Public Works, Utilities, Urban Parks, and a little bit of operational efficiency. In the past, we've always, because typically tree cutting has been over our threshold, we've had to, get quotes. That takes time and stuff. So with a multi-year contract, we're able just to write a task order to a tree cutting company. This firm has assured us that, and it's work that they do. We can just call them up and issue them a task order to come in and cut trees on right-of-ways, on streets, anywhere else. One question that the administrator did have is this would not preclude us from offering other contracts should we have a natural disaster come through, ice storm, hurricane, tornado, et cetera. So this just helps increase our operational efficiency. The amount of the contract on there is only an estimated amount. I took the amount of trees that are trees and stumps that are typically encountered during the year by various departments, and we kind of averaged those out just so we could get a base number and give the bidder something to work with. So that's how we arrived at that. That number could be more or it could be less over the span of 3 years.
Where's this group out of?
Anderson.
Other questions for Brandon? From the public? All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
Make a motion that we authorize the city administrator to enter into a multi-year contract for hazardous tree removal with Rock Solid Earthworks LLC.
Second.
Comments? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Brandon. Next is mayor, council reports, comments, new business. I'll start off. We got some real exciting news today. Clemson Elementary is partnering with our rec center to offer free swim lessons to all second graders starting this fall. That has not been happening in the past, so we're very excited, and the school district is supporting that effort and using our rec facility. Also 6 Miles doing it in Central, just FYI, but all second graders. Is very exciting to hear that, so thank you to the school district for doing that for our second graders, and of course the rec department for running the program. That's a huge effort, but it's a worthwhile, very worthwhile effort. So, other comments? Okay, any new business? All right, would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Comments or discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Have a great evening, have a great week.